Over the years, I have personally learned a lot about alpha males, how they operate, how and why they do things the way that they do, and what makes girls go absolutely crazy for them. And as you begin to understand these things, you should be able to apply some of them to your own life and change the way that you do things so that you can get better results. So with that said, let's get right into it. Number 1, alpha males hide their feelings. One of the craziest things that I ever learned about alpha males is that you can never really know how they feel about you. Something that drives girls absolutely insane is not knowing whether or not a guy likes them. And alpha males have this game locked down because they almost never share how they feel about somebody. The moment that you guys tell a girl that you like her, or the moment that you verbally let the cat out of the bag, so to speak, there is no putting the cat back in the bag. One of the most important things that I have ever learned is that so many things in life are a struggle for power. And it's kind of a harsh way to look at it, but the person who has the power, not just in relationships, but in pretty much anything, is the person who needs the other person less. Or the person who at least gives the appearance of needing the other person less. So when you verbally tell a girl that you like her, you have basically given up your power and your mystery. By hiding their feelings, alpha males keep you guessing, so you never really know for sure if they like you. And this is especially powerful when it comes to females because girls always want to chase and pursue the guy who they aren't sure about, or the mysterious guy, or the guy who doesn't make it obvious that he likes her. Sometime when you're out in public, you might come across a girl that is the best looking girl that you've ever seen in your entire life, but you would never actually want to tell her that you think this. Even in long-term relationships, you always want to remain slightly aloof or a little bit mysterious to keep them guessing as to how you truly feel about them. It might be a good idea to keep your feelings to yourself rather than immediately telling a girl what you think of her. Number 2, alpha males self-validate. If you've ever wondered where the saying about the car you drive and how it relates to the size of certain other things that you have, it is a saying that was actually coined by women a long time ago. And it basically means that girls will look at guys who drive really nice cars and they will tend to assume that the man is compensating for something based on the car that he is driving. Now the truth is that as men, we do try to compensate for things that we don't have, such as charm, charisma, or good looks, using material things like a really nice or really fast car. I don't really know why we do it, but we do. So in many cases, when a girl sees a man driving a really flashy car, the first thought she might have to herself is asking the question, what is he compensating for? Something that we all struggle with as men is validation seeking, in the form of getting attention from girls or even just trying to make everyone else like us. One of the craziest things that I ever learned about alpha males is that they have what is almost like the little reactor that sits in the chest of Tony Stark. It's kind of a weird analogy, but it makes perfect sense. One of the things that makes alpha males so successful at what they do is that they truly do not need validation from other people, and they have what is basically the equivalent of a self-validating reactor inside of them. Alpha males just don't care if other people like them or not. They don't let the opinions of other people affect them. Everything they do actually reflects the ability to self-validate. So instead of asking themselves, is this going to offend somebody? They ask themselves instead, is this going to make me laugh? Or how's this going to make me feel? Instead of constantly thinking about what everyone around them thinks, they are asking themselves, am I having fun? Or is this situation making me happy? Natural alpha males seem to have an innate ability to just not care what other people think of them. So whenever they do or say something, they look at it like, what do I think about this? Instead of, what will other people think about this? Number 3, alpha males do as they please. One of the greatest differences between men who are perceived as alpha and men who are not is permission. Alpha males tend to do as they please and they don't ask permission to do so. The typical alpha male is the boss of his own life, and he will steer it in whatever direction that he sees fit. None of us want to be the guy who needs to ask permission to use the bathroom, or the guy who must ask permission to take a day off of work. Alpha males don't ask permission before they say something because that's just how they operate. Girls tend to chase alpha males because alpha males don't wait for permission to make a move, whether it's with a girl, how they decide to make money, or anything else in life. There's an old saying that the early bird gets the worm. The people who make the most money from a trend are those who got in early. And the earlier that you are able to get in when it comes to pretty much anything in life, the better. And to get in early, you have to be the guy who does as he pleases, or the guy who doesn't wait for permission from other people. You have to be the guy who makes the bold moves, who knows what he wants, and who goes for it. Number 4, alpha males never let their emotions control their actions. How many times have we wanted to flip off the guy that just cut us off in traffic? How many times have we got angry when somebody said something that insulted us? One of the craziest things that I ever learned about alpha males, and easily the most important, is that these men are able to separate their feelings or emotions from their actions. Imagine if our old president decided to just hit the nuke button every time the news said something bad about him instead of simply tweeting about it. That probably wouldn't go down as the best decision that he's ever made. One of the greatest skills that an alpha male has, and one that all men should consistently strive to develop, is the ability to separate their actions from their emotions. Acting purely based on emotions is not typically considered a masculine trait, and good results or outcomes rarely occur when we make important decisions when emotions are running high. Separating your emotions from your actions is a core part of maintaining a masculine frame. One of my favorite ways to think about this is to imagine that inside of your head there is a circular plate, and on that plate is a little steel ball. In life, people and various circumstances will relentlessly pull and shake the plate in an attempt to make our ball roll off of it. Alpha males are naturally really good at keeping their ball right in the center of the plate, where it's the most balanced and where it is in the strongest position. Whenever we get filled with anger, or when girls test us, or when our dog doesn't listen, we have to think about that steel ball and actively keep it centered in the middle of the plate, where it is calm and where it is powerful. A man who cannot control his emotions is vulnerable and extremely volatile, and in the wrong situation, acting with your emotions could easily destroy everything that you've worked hard for in your life. Stereotypical alpha males get a lot of hate, but at the same time, there are many things that can be learned from how these guys act. And what you would do in any situation when you want to create a winning strategy is to take all the knowledge that you can from other people's strategies, apply those to your strategy, and then discard the rest that doesn't apply to you. The guys who get the best results, whether it's with girls or anything else in life, are not those who copy word for word, action for action, the strategy of other men. The men who get the best results are those who take bits and pieces from many strategies or from many sources of knowledge to form the strategy that ultimately works best for them. And taking some of the greatest bits of wisdom from the so-called alpha male is one of the best ways to begin formulating the strategy that works best for you, or to take the good and eliminate the bad. These are some of the craziest things that I've ever learned about alpha males and how alpha males really act. I know it's really easy for us to hate on these men who fit this stereotype perfectly, but at the end of the day, rather than hating on them, the better thing to do would be to ask ourselves instead, what can we learn from them? And with that said, until next time, thanks for watching.